Does familiarity breed non-interest? What am I talking about here? So, familiar. So, let's just think about that word. Family, right? Familiar. It's in the word, literally in the word. So, familiarity, being in a relationship, a romantic relationship, but then are you feeling more like friends or family in this romantic relationship? This thing that's supposed to be romantic, are you feeling more like friends or even family? Um, because here's what happens. If you're always around each other, kind of like family would be, maybe it sort of leads to your partner maybe seeing them more like a brother or a sister, or maybe even like a child, depending. If you're, let's say, taking care of them in one way or another, they're almost then like a child if you're taking care of them. And you know what? None of that obviously is sexy. Familiarity in that respect is not sexy. Why is there this thing called the honeymoon period, where when you first meet there's that electricity, right? Oh, it's just like we can't wait to like see him naked and feel, what's it going to be like when you kiss him, and all these different juices are flowing, whatever. Why is that so great? Well, one reason why it's great is they're new, they're unknown, they're not familiar anymore. Everything's new. Literally everything is new. So that's what makes it exciting. And there's this thing out there, and I heard it not too long ago, called the incest taboo. Um, so what is that? And again, this is just something I heard, and I don't know how true it is, whatever, but sometimes things can be true-ish, right? True enough that it can be applicable. And when the incest taboo is that if you go 1 month without sex, that this sort of feeling, this incest feeling can arise. This familiarity feeling can arise, where you start seeing them as not a romantic partner and more like family. So it's not per se incest, and clearly, logically, we know that, but maybe physically at an unconscious level, we start feeling them in our feels more like family. So then it's like incest, although clearly it's not incest, but it starts to feel like that if we go, in this case, I had heard a month, but let's just throw that out there. It's a month without having some form of sex. So what can you do, right? You don't want this. You want them to be a romantic relationship. What are things you could do? All right, so read my list as I always do. Do you both have outside interests? If you're around each other all the time, then you're going to be really familiar, and you're going to have that feeling of, oh, we're too familiar. But if you have outside interests, they're going to do their thing. You're doing your thing. Maybe it's jobs, careers, whatever. Maybe it's just interests that you have. You're taking classes, doing different things, and you're coming back later in the day and you're sharing. They're sharing their things. You're sharing your things, and it's bringing new things to your relationship. That's a good thing. So that's one thing you can do. Different hobbies, maybe different friends. Oh, what did you do today? Who'd you talk to? What do they have to say? What's going on with them? Think about things just right now. What are ways that you can bring newness to your relationship? Maybe it's together you go take sex classes. They have such thing, tantra classes, whatever. It's like breathing things and the yoni experience. All these different things. You can learn different things about sex. You can new things specifically about sex, but also just new things you can bring into your relationship by just having different lives that you're living. And then if that incest thing, that taboo is even a thing about 1 month, maybe commit to having sex at least 2 times a month. Then you just nip it in the bud right there. So just 2 times a month minimum, right? You don't want that sexual drought to happen. So minimum 2 times a month you're having sex. Maybe for you, it's 2 times a week. If it's usually more than that or less than that or whatever, you figure out what works well for you, works best for your relationship, and figure out what that is, whatever it is. But it's It's just basically it's something that you want to do for your relationship. It's this focusing on bringing something new, bringing the habit of having more regular sex into your relationship, and just kind of getting a handle on this so that you're not just friends, you don't feel like family, you're back to being romantic partners like you were at the beginning. That sounds good, right? Uh, Put any questions below. Reach out to me if you want any assistance, and I will see you on that next video.